Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, we have got an absolutely explosive week of spoilers for you, June 15th through the 19th, and I am telling you right now, this week is going to have you glued to your screen from Monday all the way through Friday. We have got EJ DiMera completely losing it on his sister Kristen and threatening her life after finding out what she tried to do to his son Johnny. And look, when EJ DiMera tells you your time is up, you should probably believe him. We have got chaos breaking out up at the Horton cabin with Holly collapsing under mysterious and very suspicious circumstances. We have got Xander coming clean and making some very uncomfortable confessions. And we have got Chad and EJ stirring up jealousy in each other in the most wonderfully messy way possible. It's me, and we are getting into every single spoiler for the week of June 15th through the 19th, including Belle and Chad working together, a very awkward Juneteenth moment in Horton Square, and a hidden key that just might crack open one of the biggest mysteries this show has been building. But before we dive into all of it, if you are not yet following us, please hit that subscribe button right now because you do not want to miss a single episode. Okay, let's get into it. Monday, June 15th, Season 61. Episode 211, we are picking right back up from where Friday left off, and honestly, Friday's episode set up so much good stuff for this week that I have been thinking about it all weekend. If you remember, we had that baseball game scene, and it was actually three couples all wrapped up in this one moment, which is a lot of romantic chaos happening simultaneously in one stadium. We had Kat and EJ watching the Cubs game together, and then Kat kissed EJ on Friday, so we are probably going to get a replay of that moment to kick things off on Monday. But here's where it gets really delicious. Also, at that game were Belle and Chad, and they ended up on the kiss cam, which means they kissed. On camera. In a stadium full of people. And EJ saw it. Now, Belle's other ex, Sean, was also there, which could have been incredibly awkward, but Sean actually seemed pretty unbothered by the whole thing, mostly because he was busy kissing Jada at that exact moment, so he did not exactly have the moral high ground to stand on. But EJ? EJ seeing Belle kiss his brother Chad while he is sitting there with Kat? That is a whole different energy. I think both EJ and Kat are going to be a little rattled and a little jealous after that moment, even if neither of them wants to admit it out loud. So EJ responds by asking Kat out to do something properly romantic, which sounds sweet on the surface, but remember, Kat is not actually falling for EJ here. She has a mission. EJ told her that Chanel cannot have the serum for her mother Paulina, and Kat is now laser-focused on finding new ways to take EJ down. The honeypot plan is fully in motion. And Rafe is already not thrilled about how close Kat is getting to EJ, now that she seems to have committed to this approach. Things between her and Rafe are going to get more tense. Because there is a difference between gathering information and genuinely putting yourself in someone's orbit, and Kat is crossing into the second category. Meanwhile, Chad tells Belle that the kiss cam moment was not what he had in mind. It was unplanned, it was a little awkward, it was forced by the situation. So, after the game, Chad gives Belle a real kiss. A intentional, meaningful, passionate kiss. And honestly, good for them. These two have such a natural chemistry, and it has been building slowly, and I am here for it. Belle and Chad also decide to start working together to get some answers, and I think this is where things get really interesting. I wonder if Belle is going to open up to Chad about the chess set, the one from Stefano that was left for her father John Black. Because there was a missing pawn, and that has been bothering Belle more than she has let on. She is genuinely worried about what it means, who took it, and what is coming for her dad. And Chad, being a DiMera, might actually have some insight or connections that could help Belle figure out what is going on. These two investigating together? That has potential to be a really compelling storyline. Over on the Paulina front, she is leaning on Johnny and Chanel this week, and I mean leaning in the sense of applying pressure, not emotional support. Paulina is upset. She is frustrated that EJ flat-out refused to give Chanel the serum. And I could absolutely see Paulina encouraging Johnny to go directly to EJ and ask him himself, because maybe, just maybe, EJ would be more willing to do it for his own son than he would for anyone else. It is a logical play. Whether it works is a whole different question. And then we have a genuinely sweet scene with Julie and Marina sitting down at the Horton house for a nice conversation about how life challenges you and how you get through it. They are both smiling, which is lovely because these two have both been through a lot. I wonder if Julie is going to tell Marina about her date situation. Julie Williams has still got it, and I love when the show gives her these lighter, warmer moments. Tuesday, June 16th, Season 61. Episode 212 Tuesday brings us summer hijinks at the Horton family cabin, and honestly, sometimes this show just knows how to have fun, and this is one of those setups. Holly and Ari invited Tate and Aaron to join them up at the cabin, and as everyone arrives, Ari announces it is happy hour. Which, yes, Ari, that is the correct way to kick off a cabin weekend. I love the energy. These four together should make for some really entertaining dynamics, especially given everything going on with the romantic entanglements between all of them. Brady tells Sarah this week that one of the companies he has been looking into is DiMera Pharmaceuticals. So it sounds like Brady has gone full detective mode and is digging into what happened to Sarah's patient Destiny. This is a significant development because DiMera Pharmaceuticals being connected to whatever happened to Destiny opens up a whole can of worms, and it puts Brady on a collision course with EJ, whether EJ knows it or not. Sarah has been pushing for answers about Destiny, and now it looks like Brady might actually be the one who cracks something open. Alex goes to his mother-in-law Kayla for advice this week about Joy's ultimatum. And this is such a messy situation that I genuinely feel for everyone involved. Joy has told Alex that Stephanie can never be around Kelsey, and that Alex can only visit his daughter at Joy's place. Which is a lot. And Alex is stuck because on one hand he understands why Joy is upset. The shooting situation was traumatic and terrifying, but on the other hand this is his daughter, and Stephanie is his person. Kayla may advise him to just give it time. That Joy is still raw, still processing, and that pushing back right now is only going to make things worse. Which is probably the right advice even if it is not what Alex wants to hear. Stephanie is really struggling with the weight of everything she has done. And there is so much for her to carry right now. She almost shot Joy. And now, because of the fallout from that, Alex is being kept from spending time with his daughter freely. Stephanie's guilt is layered and complicated, and I think this week we really see her grappling with the consequences of her actions in a way that is going to be emotionally heavy. Kate comes in hot with Marina this week, and I completely understand it. Kate is irritated. She is upset that Roman has been turning to Marina for comfort and support. And on top of that, Kate is ticked off that Marina's ultimatum to Xander is ultimately what forced her to come clean to Roman about things she would have preferred to keep buried. Marina's arrival set off a chain of events that Kate did not want, and she is not going to pretend otherwise. This confrontation has been building, and I think Kate is going to say some things that Marina needs to hear even if Marina is not going to love hearing them. Wednesday, June 17th, Season 61. Episode 213 Wednesday brings us Gabby trying to pump the brakes on Leo, and I think I understand exactly what is happening here. Gabby is trying to gently, or maybe not so gently, put some distance between Leo and Javi because Leo being Leo around Javi's new relationship with firefighter Gus could absolutely blow things up. Gus is a genuinely good guy, and Javi deserves to have this go well. Leo means well, but he is a lot, and Gabby knows that better than anyone. So she is running a little interference here, and honestly, fair enough. Philip goes to Theo and apologizes this week. And there are few things this apology could be about. It could be about the lawsuit situation. It could be about the mix-up where Gabby assumed Theo was the one who leaked the secret about the bug, when it was actually Anna who was responsible. And I have to wonder if Philip is finally going to tell Theo the truth, that it was Anna, not him, because Philip actually refused to clear that up with Gabby at the time. He stayed quiet when he could have corrected the record. If he tells Theo now, that is a meaningful step. If he keeps it to himself again, well, that is very on brand for Philip, but it is also going to create more problems down the road. Kat asks her brother Mark this week whether there is a problem with EJ's miracle drug. And Mark tells her no, absolutely not. Why would you even think that? But here's the thing, he looks nervous when he says it. He looks like a man who is keeping something he does not want to keep. And Kat is smart enough to notice that. So whatever is going on with EJ's serum, Mark knows something about it, and he is not being entirely honest with his sister. This thread is going to pull on something bigger, I can feel it. Xander comes clean to Johnny this week, and I think this is part of Xander genuinely trying to make amends. Marina has been encouraging him to take accountability and go to the people he has wronged and own what he did. So Xander sitting down with Johnny, telling him what happened and why, and asking for forgiveness is a really significant moment. Xander has done a lot of damage, and not all of it can be repaired easily. But trying matters, and I think this scene is going to be unexpectedly emotional. And then we have got Chad and EJ absolutely amping up the jealousy in each other this week, and I love it because it is so petty and so real at the same time. Obviously, this is all circling around Chad being with Belle and Kat being with EJ. The brothers are watching each other, and neither one of them is entirely comfortable with what they see. The extra layer that makes this really complicated is that Kat is still genuinely attracted to Chad. She has real feelings there even as she is using EJ. And EJ being with Kat while watching Chad be happy with Belle is its own kind of torture for EJ. This whole quadrangle is a mess, and I am completely obsessed with every minute of it. Thursday, June 18th, Season 61. Episode 214 Thursday is Abe and Paulina's wedding anniversary, and the show is not going to let that pass without making it incredibly uncomfortable for everyone involved. Because the situation right now is Paulina stepped back. Abe is with Lexi now. But both Abe and Paulina still have deep feelings for each other. And Abe loves Lexi too. It is genuinely messy, and there are no clean answers here. Nobody is the villain. Everybody is just trying to navigate an impossible situation where hearts are going to get hurt no matter what happens. This anniversary is going to bring all of those feelings bubbling right back to the surface. Rolf has some promising news about Lexi's symptoms, and it has EJ genuinely optimistic for the first time in a while. We see Rolf show EJ a vial of something this week, and it looks like the good doctor has cooked up a new super serum specifically designed to address the side effects that have been plaguing Lexi. Now, this is Rolf we are talking about, so I always maintain a healthy level of caution about what exactly is in that vial and what the long-term consequences might be. But EJ is hopeful, and honestly, he needs a win right now, so I am going to let myself feel a little hopeful for him too. It is time for Chanel to start chemotherapy, and both Lonnie and Theo are there with her. And this is exactly right. These are her people, and they are showing up for her the way you show up for someone you love when they are facing something terrifying. Chanel has been so strong through all of this, and having her brother and her best friend right there beside her as she starts treatment is going to be an emotional moment. I have a lot of feelings about this storyline, and I think the show is handling it with real care. Up at the cabin, Holly and Tate's romantic getaway takes a very alarming turn. Holly is in the dark. She looks absolutely terrified, and then she collapses and Tate catches her. And I have so many questions about what is actually happening here. Is Holly back on pills? Did she relapse and nobody knows yet? Or, and this is the theory I cannot stop thinking about, did somebody drug her deliberately to set her up? Because there are people who do not want Holly doing well. There are people who would benefit from her looking unstable or out of control. And if Sophia is really dead, is there something at that cabin connected to her disappearance that someone is trying to bury? I am watching this very carefully because I think there is more going on here than a simple relapse. Kristen issues a warning to Johnny this week. And whatever she says, it lands. It gets Johnny thinking. It plants something in his head that he cannot shake. And Kristen doing this feels almost reckless, like she is so confident in her own position that she does not realize she is actually giving Johnny the breadcrumbs he needs to figure out what she did. Friday, June 19th, Season 61. Episode 215, and here we are at Friday, and it is an absolute barn burner of an episode. After his conversation with Kristen, Johnny alerts EJ. Something clicks. Either Johnny figured it out from the things Kristen said, or EJ puts the pieces together himself, but the conclusion they reach is devastating and infuriating. It was Kristen. Kristen is the one who sicked Sophia on Johnny. Kristen tried to have her own nephew hurt, possibly killed, because of her own agenda and her own petty ruthlessness. And Kristen DiMera finds out. We are talking about EJ screaming in Kristen's face. Absolutely losing it on her. You tried to murder my son. And EJ is not a man who makes threats he does not intend to follow through on. Kristen's days in Salem feel numbered right now, and I genuinely think we are watching the beginning of the end of her current run in this story. When EJ turns on you, fully, completely, with the full force of his rage and his resources, you do not come back from that easily. Kristen is in serious trouble, and she may have finally miscalculated one time too many. Tate, Aaron, and Ari rally around Holly after the cabin collapse drama, trying to get her back on solid ground emotionally and physically. These three care about her, and that support system is going to matter a lot as whatever is really going on with Holly starts to come into focus. Lonnie has some questions for Kristen this week, and I genuinely wonder, if Kristen might actually confide in Lonnie about what she did and why. Because Kristen is backed into a corner right now. EJ is furious. Johnny knows. And Kristen has to be feeling the walls closing in. She might need someone to talk to, someone who is not going to immediately turn her in, and Lonnie has been that person for her before. Whether Lonnie can actually keep that secret once she hears it is a whole other question. And then, the moment I have been looking forward to all week, Lexi and Abe walk into the Juneteenth celebration in Horton Square. They come in right behind Paulina. And Lexi looks around and asks Abe, "Is this your anniversary?" And the silence that follows that question is going to be loud enough to hear from the parking lot. Paulina is right there. Abe is with Lexi. It is their anniversary. And now everyone is standing in the same space at a community celebration with nowhere to go and nowhere to hide. That is painful and awkward and emotionally complicated in the best possible soap opera way. Paulina also runs smack into Theo and Lexi at that same Juneteenth event, and the discomfort just keeps stacking. Everyone is trying to celebrate and be present in the moment, and all of this unresolved heartbreak is just sitting right in the middle of it. I feel for all of them honestly. And then to close out the week, Chad and Theo start digging into the chessboard. The one Stefano left for John Black. They are over at the Brady pub. Theo is examining the board, lifting it, turning it over, and then he tips it. And a key falls out, right into Theo's hand. And just like that, the mystery deepens in the most satisfying way possible. Now look, I need the show to actually pay this off. I need this to go somewhere meaningful, and I need it to happen in a reasonable amount of time. Because this chess set mystery has been building and building, and if it drags on for 9 to 12 months with no real payoff, I'm going to have some very strong feelings about that. But right now, in this moment, watching that key fall out of Stefano's chessboard, that is great television. The game is absolutely afoot, and I am so here for it. What a week, Days of Our Lives fans. Between EJ going absolutely nuclear on Kristen, Holly's mysterious collapse at the cabin, that devastating anniversary situation with Abe and Paulina and Lexi, Xander making amends, and a hidden key that just changed everything about the chess set mystery. This show is firing on all cylinders right now, and I cannot wait to watch it all unfold. Make sure you are following us everywhere you listen to podcasts because we have spoilers and recaps coming at you all week long, and you do not want to fall behind. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and every major platform. Thank you so much for being a loyal part of this community, and we will see you in the next one. Do not miss it.